Bert, it's National Freezer Pop Day. You like freeze pops?
What's the difference between a freeze pop, like a popsicle? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it says freeze pop, so I'm guessing the freeze pop are the things that are yeah.
I'm looking them
Shoot,
up now.
I'm hearing myself. What is this? What's happening?
Are you?
Yeah.
You sound fine to me.
Do I? Why am I hearing myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. Oh, thank you. All right, we got it. We're good now.
Freeze pops are like those ones in plastic you like push up. I get that.
Yeah, like the sticks.
Yeah.
The sticks.
Yeah.
I'm a big freeze pop guy. I used to like mix all the flavors until you get this nasty, like,
oh my god,
dark purple. Yeah.
My god, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I was depraved, lonely childhood. It's what happens when you're left to your own devices when you're a kid. You just start mixing freeze pops for no reason.
It's fine. It's carried you to 39. I think we're in good shape,
Absolutely. Yeah. All these kids out there with your ADD and your vitamins. You took Flintstone vitamins and you drank out of your neighbor's garden hose, and that's how you survived. That's how you, I mean, seriously, like that's how you beat all these diseases. Let me tell you that I ran through Florence and Roebling, New Jersey's night scene bar hooker prostitutes with reckless abandon. I think I'll be okay. Yeah. Go ahead and give me the COVID.
Thanks to the vitamins. Thanks to the
Flintstone, the rock hard chalk Flintstone vitamins.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh, that tasted like rust, but hey, we made it.
They were
we
so
made it
dense.
somehow. Yeah.
Every bite was dry. It's what it is. Yeah.
Man, I used to like try to tough it out and like bite into it and then just hurry up, and when it got stuck in my throat, it was just like a dry Flintstone. And I was like,
the jagged edges would like stick into the side of your throat as it went down. You're like, what the fuck?
No amount of water. No. It would just like bypass it. Like I could feel the dryness, and it was like a rock in a white river rapid just going by it without, affecting its trajectory. Did not help at all. But that's what taught me about testicular and mental fortitude. You just tough it out, figure it out. So that's where we are. Speaking of testicular and mental fortitude, our Team USA probably could have used a little bit of that this past week against Belgium. So we'll talk about the U.S. men's national soccer team letting America down yet again. And then LeBron James still hasn't made a decision. He's deciding to make this thing as long and drawn out as possible. So we'll talk about the most intriguing landing spot for LeBron James. And then getting started, NFL's right around the corner. And because Bert, I care about you, we're going to start with the NFC East and get your New York football Giants out the way. Yeah, all that and more coming up next. Sports. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Stuff About Sports, presented by the Give Us a Shot Network, powered by Fast Break Coffee, and sponsored, as always, Bert, by the haters. And sometimes
liberal media.
What? Oh, did you even hear it? I usually get a reaction out of you. Oh, okay. You look down for a second. I was like, I was like, usually I get a reaction for that one.
I think I'm just so used to it at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. SSB 2828. Hello. Welcome to the show. Bert, got a lot going on this week.
Yeah.
Please, if everybody, thank you for joining us. Please follow us at Stuff About Sports on Stuff About Sports on Instagram, at Give Us a Shot Network on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Biggest game in U.S. men's national team history, and that was the performance. Yeah, I mean, we might as well just go ahead and get right into it. That's 100% correct. USA got their shit packed in by Belgium, 4-1, round of 16. The thing that stood out to me,
Belgian team too.
Yeah, like it's for hardcore soccer fans that I've talked to. The issue isn't that USA lost. It's that this was, out of all the talented top 10 teams that were available, this should have been the one we could have gotten by. Like, we shouldn't, you start and they felt like they played 4 next rounds, started thinking about the next round versus
Yeah.
like who's ahead of you. And I mean, you know, you do it in Seattle. Obviously, all of World Cup is home soil, but like in front of them, like just getting exposed, completely collapsed. The Americans got outclassed from the opening jump. So, what did you make of the U.S. men's national team losing to Belgium 4-1 in that fashion? And what do you think is next for Team USA?
Yeah, I mean, to me, and you said it wasn't that they lost. I think it's how they lost to get absolutely dominated. Belgium was such an aggressive team. There was no space in between. Like they were just on the ball constantly, forcing Team USA to make quick moves, and that ended up costing them. And they were making simple, elementary mistakes that ultimately did them in. Just stupid, honest, like little mistakes through and through. Like, look, I get from a defensive coverage standpoint, you know, the second goal that got in, you come back after halftime, you have a little bit of jump, and then, you know, jumping right into it, they just fall right back behind. That third goal blunder of kicking the ground instead of the ball and being caught, it just showed that on the world's biggest stage, they either got super nervous and weren't ready, or they just expected it to be a cakewalk. And it was just so heartbreaking. I think to make matters worse, as if the whole world didn't hate us already for the overturned red card suspension. Like that's the product you put on after that happens is abysmal. And honestly, I think everybody else except the USA like loved it, that we got absolutely smacked around. So, I mean, look, it sucks. Am I still proud of that squad for getting to where they were? Yes, 100%. By no means did I expect them to go all the way and win the World Cup, but it would have been nice to at least make it to the round of 8 and show that, hey, you know, the U.S. program is working its way there to be able to be in the top contending names of like England and Argentina and Portugal and France, you know, in the conversation every 4 years is what I want to get to. But that was just horrible, man. It really was. It was not enjoyable.
Speaking of the goalie, thank you, SSB.
Yeah.
Matt Freese. I mean, you choked. You had a Young Hoku kicking the ground moment. And for me, like, so like before we even get back to him, like Malik Tillman gives you a little bit of hope, right? He had the deflected free kick, tied it up 1-1.
Yeah.
When it looked bad from the beginning, especially when they scored early. And then you're like, holy shit, like this is not like, I don't know about you, Bert. When I watched that game, even from the beginning, it just felt like none of the players were sure what they were supposed to be doing. So then when Belgium scored early, I said, fuck, man, like, you know, what's happening here? Malik Tillman then gets the free kick. Great. Tied up. 1-1, still the first half. We're back on track. We're back. Then what happens? Like, not even 2 minutes later, Bert, before you could even finish the hot dog, Charles Kettleary scores a second goal against the back line. Once again, similar fashion. Once again exposing the back line, which is the theme of the entire game if you watch the whole game. Like, what were we doing? Like, and then, you know, you would think President Trump call him the bat phone, whatever he did under the table to get Balogun back in the game. Where was he at? I had to check to see if he was playing.
Got hurt. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like, you don't come out with the one thing you can't do in American sports. Our sports teams individually and respective leagues do this all the time to its specific fans. But you can't do this in a World Cup, Olympic, whenever patriotism is attached to some of these things. Bert, you can't give Americans hope. And that's what the U.S. men's national team did. We got shafted by the powers that be. Red carding a play that didn't deserve to get red carded, thus suspending what I felt was like our best player, because I don't know where Pulisic was this entire time. But up until this point,
talk about that too, yeah.
And then you come out completely flat and never really got it going. Says, I also think this team lacks certain profiles. Midfield doesn't have someone who can keep the ball and pass to everyone like a connecting point, which also brings up the point. All of our good players, they're going to be on the wrong side of 30 by the time the next World Cup pulls up. And I try to look up who the next soccer stars are, and I didn't see many. So we're going to be looking into the situation where before Trump gets out of here, we might need to get him to, pass through some citizenships real fast. You know what I mean? Like however he needs to do it and try to get some of these good players. Pochettino, the Mauricio Pochettino, whatever, however you say his name, Coach P. Got to look in the mirror, pal. Like, you're a big name, but your system, this 3-5-2 system you run, completely outclassed by a team that you had the advantage on athletically and youth. But this is the difference between technical fundamental sounds and flash and substance, right? Like at the end of the day, you still have to have a natural baseline of skill. Belgium played, to me, they didn't play anything advanced. They just took what US gave them and they just played them like a fiddle. And it's insane. There's a kid from Philadelphia who's very good, playing in Manchester City Academy and is a protege. I think he's a prodigy, but I hear you. Can't wait to figure out who that is. US has no soccer identity. 2,000 times had less talent and more success. Yeah, because they had nothing to lose. Again, when you give hope and you have expectations, now you get criticisms, you get things that you get pressure that, especially when the World Cup is here, there's a level of pressure that you get that you don't get anywhere else. Like, they already think that we didn't belong. And now all we did was prove that we didn't belong. Yeah. So now the party's over. Canada's out. Mexico's out.
Yep.
North America, we're done. We're donezo. Like, I don't even know. I might not even
now we're just the host.
Game.
No, there's still plenty of fantastic matchups. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Did you see Morocco, France?
Yeah.
I did.
See Argentina?
Yes.
You see Messi? I mean, Jesus. You want to talk about the GOAT? Like, undisputed, man. Like, that guy. Like,
that game also had some questionable calls in it too, man. It was, listen, FIFA's going to FIFA no matter what. Yeah. But yeah, look, France, Morocco coming up tomorrow. Spain, Belgium. Spain's going to kick Belgium's teeth in. Really looking forward to Norway, England, though. I am. I very much enjoyed Norway, Brazil, and that matchup on Sunday, man. That's insane. Just Vikings being Vikings and just doing their thing. It's no, I don't know. This is exciting. Even though the US isn't in it, it's just exciting.
I don't think Pulisic makes the 23rd. I don't know if he wants to make the 2030 team.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm tired of that guy. Like, you might want to sit that one out. Before we move on, I just at least want to touch upon the fact that everything Donald Trump touches turns to shit. He's been involved now in 2 high-profile sports events. He prevented the Knicks from sweeping the Spurs. He attends one game, they lose after they've been dominating, by 30 every game of the playoffs. And then, ironically, the game that he shows up for, they lost. Got Wemby crying like he won Game 7, and then they never won again. And then this interjects himself and then tries to take credit for the World Cup success. Getting Balogun unsuspended, or a suspension of his suspension, I guess. Parole. It's like the soccer version of parole, or probation, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, they come out and just play just this uninspired. Like, how can you host the World Cup and play uninspired soccer? It just doesn't make sense. Do you guys think this pay-to-play youth sports model is the reason U.S. soccer can't succeed?
So I saw a thread about this the other day and was reading into it, and it makes some compelling arguments. It does. I don't know if that's the reason, or I mean, truly, it's a global game, and there's so many other sport options here in the US. Not to say that there aren't as many in other countries. I just think that when you like that, football is life elsewhere. Whereas for us, it's great for development when you're younger, but then a lot of kids will gravitate towards American football or baseball or hockey, or like so many other sports for them to choose from, that I think they just fall out. I think the pay to play prevents a lot of talent from entering too. Like I do agree with it to a small sense, but I think it's a combination of things too. But yeah, I went down that rabbit hole the other day, and there might be some validity to it for sure.
There could be. The thing you have to understand is soccer is just not popular here, right? Like there's culture, right? Not in terms of the rest of the world where it's ingrained, right? Like basketball is a global sport. Football is popular because it's rare in Europe. But there's not. If that was the case, there would be, just like FIBA for basketball, there'd be amateur or semi-pro, there'd be bigger American football leagues elsewhere in the world. You don't see them very often. There's flag football for sure, things like that.
Yeah.
But it just how, soccer dwarfs the popularity in the States outside of the United States is the same way the NFL dwarfs any version of football out there. Just like the NBA dwarfs any other version of basketball, in the Chinese leagues, that's like the running joke because it's so below the NBA. It's below the G League. You got Kevin Durant calling like the 12th guy on the bench who's talking shit to him. You better learn Chinese, buddy, because you're heading over to the Shanghai Sharks because you're a bum and you can't make it here. Like, that's how they think about it, right? That's no different than English Premier League or all these other leagues in soccer when it comes to like MLS, right? It's just not a thing, right? You get pockets of hype, like Miami getting Messi because he's hanging out, but he's retired. He's like old, and you know what I mean? And he's like LeBron James out there. Like, nobody can touch him. That right there tells you the gap. So pay to play, I'm sure it doesn't help, or maybe it does, but to me, it's more about the culture. Like, it's just not here. Like, kids they're pushed to play football. They're pushed to play basketball. There's not much to do in soccer, right? That's why a large proportion of blacks play basketball because there's not enough room for baseball fields and soccer fields and hockey rinks. Like, basketball is easy. There's a court on every corner. You can't build a whole football field like in the city.
Yeah.
That's why, baseball, there's plenty of space. Soccer, there's a reason why a large demographic of those players are Hispanic and that come from the islands where they only can afford a ball and a stick. Like, you read the story of Mariano Rivera, whose first glove was like a cardboard box. Like, it's cheap to play baseball. It's cheap to play soccer. So a lot of these countries that don't have the money that US does, even the poor areas, are resorting to a game that only needs a ball and something resembling a net or at least a goalpost to play soccer. So it's just culture, man. Like, that's all it is.
I think combined with just the global popularity of that too, right? I think that's it's a global game,
How many poor kids are playing but again, that goes to my culture thing, because if they were able to play soccer, it'd be soccer here, but it's not. Like, basketball is ingrained here, much like soccer is ingrained everywhere else. And I'm not saying that there's not places that play that. Obviously, basketball is more international than it's ever been, but it's because it was popularized here. And because it's a popular sport here and it makes billions of dollars now, like, think about the 90s where they weren't making billions of dollars. If they didn't get that TV deal, they'd be in the same purgatory the NHL was in for 20 years until they got a new TV deal. Like, and the reason why the NHL was like that is the same reason soccer is here. It just wasn't popular because not many people play it, because it's not important here like it is in Canada or overseas. So you're looking at the same kind of thing. Is soccer more popular today than it's ever been? Sure, absolutely. But that's a far cry. Like, let's go take a trip over to Spain or Italy or Belgium or wherever, everywhere of these powerhouse countries, Argentina. Let's go over there and give me a percentage of people of kids who are playing soccer, or the leagues for youth sports. How many of them are playing soccer versus any other sport? I guarantee you it is a direct mirror of how it is here for football and basketball than it is over there with soccer. So I personally think it's coaching issue from youth. Belgium only has 11 million population and 250 kids. But now you're thinking about percentages, right? Like, those Belgian coaches grew up as Belgian kids playing soccer. They didn't grow up playing badminton. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's again, we're not talking about different. We're talking about the same thing. Just like basketball coaches here, they weren't growing up playing ultimate frisbee. They grew up playing basketball, which is why they're coaching basketball. It's just we have more opportunity here for basketball instead of soccer, and the ratios are about the same. We just have a bigger population. So don't let the big number confuse you. You got to look at the percentages. So interesting. Very good topic. Thank you for leading us there. Speaking of percentages, Bert, 0% interest in LeBron James joining the Philadelphia 76ers. But before I get to that,
you think
I
so?
have to ask you. I have no interest in it. I know there's
Oh, you
Sixers
have?
fans that
Okay,
keep
I was
saying,
gonna say.
I
I
have
was like,
no. I know, no.
I was gonna say something
There,
tells me there's a 33.3% interest on his end.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. So I will ask you, fill in the blank
Yeah.
for me. Most intriguing landing spot for LeBron James is
Most intriguing or most likely?
intriguing.
Because
I know it's most
most,
likely. Well, I think we all know it's
most
most likely, but
yeah, I
what's
mean,
most
most
intriguing
intriguing
to you?
for me would be Philadelphia.
Hmm.
Because it's got the highest offensive potential there, and he does not have to be the guy. He can be just the supporting character. He can be a good, backcourt partner to Tyrese Maxey too. Like it's just, he can sit there and win a championship just being the OG. Most likely, I think he's going back to Cleveland. Plain and simple. I think he's going to finish his career where he started it. There's still some potential there in a younger crew, but most intriguing, I have to say your 76ers. I do. There's potential there even when Joel Embiid is not healthy, which we all know is incredibly likely as well. So, he'll be playing with guys with both elite speed and just pure athleticism and just be able to blend in and still provide his talents. Whether you love him or hate him, you have to face the fact that he's talented and he's still going to put points on the board too. So, I mean, yeah, that's obviously for me the most intriguing spot. I'm curious to know why you have zero interest in it. If you feel it's just going to be a distraction, and you don't want a big name coming to Philadelphia, because for me, I'd be all for it in a big market that is Philly, especially with the Sixers. But
Bert, I got to tell you, I don't like that you said that. I hate it.
I know.
I hate it.
But let's be honest. It is a reality now. It's out there.
It is. It is a reality. I understand that. I believe it's the Sixers, the Cavs, the Heat, the Timberwolves, and the Warriors are his last five. The Nuggets have just been told.
Didn't he just narrow it down to 3 though?
They said the large margins are 3. According to his representation, he kicked the Nuggets out. I'm sorry, he kicked the Timberwolves out. So it's the Sixers, the Cavs, the Heat, the Warriors, and that's it. So okay. Here's the problem. Here's why I don't like it for the Sixers. And I get that it's a name. LeBron James is 41. And while he is he's very obviously he's excellent for a 41-year-old player. We get into this notion that we are getting the theoretical version of that player. The Sixers fans are assuming we are getting Miami LeBron, which is the best version of LeBron, and we're not. The reason why I don't like it for the Sixers is because we already have 3 players now that Jaylen Brown is here who absolutely need the ball, and LeBron is the now would be the 4th. If I look at history to tell me the future, LeBron James makes, and I've said this before, LeBron James makes bad players good and great players bad, because he can elevate the games and the floors of bad players to make them look better than they are, which we've seen throughout his history. The Tristan Thompsons, the Mario Chalmers, the Norris Coles, the Elgauskas. They made Mo Williams an all-star. Some of these guys that we know their names, we shouldn't have known them because they weren't nothing before LeBron and were nothing after him. But then you see guys who had to sacrifice their games, like Chris Bosh and Kevin Love, who were perennial all-stars, became almost punching bags. Kyrie Irving had to take a backseat, which is why he wanted to leave. Because you have to, if you're a great player or good player, you have to sacrifice too much of your game for LeBron, because LeBron needs to make everything go, which is great if you are a role player or you are a fringe starter. He will make you look better than you are, and you will fit that system. But when you're Tyrese Maxey and you're averaging 28 points a game, when you're Joel Embiid, who is only useful in the half-court offense and you need the ball to create, it doesn't work with LeBron James. Sorry. This is not Team USA where all the all-stars are beating up on, Cameroon. It's just not the same. These are professional teams that you're playing here. We've seen it. Super teams haven't been working. The era of the super team is over. But look at the last couple NBA champions. You're talking about the Celtics, the Nuggets, now the Knicks. These aren't super teams. These are built on one superstar and maybe another all-star and a bunch of really good rotation bench pieces. That's how the NBA is built now. So when you throw these guys that just need everything, and listen, for a Sixers fan, is it intriguing that you add LeBron James to the trio of Maxey, Jaylen Brown, and VJ Edgecombe with cameo appearances from Joel Embiid? It's yeah, sure. It looks nice on paper, but again, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot. Cleveland and Miami, you've already won there. It does, to me, those, even though Cleveland's probably the nicer story, if his thing is about winning, then it doesn't really make sense to go there because you've already won there. It won't mean anything if you go there and win again. So for me, the clear, and if Denver's out, because Denver actually would have been a pretty nice spot for him. Yeah. Because I think him and Jokic would be nice. I do think him and Giannis with Bam, that also would be nice. But to your point, that's not a better team than him on the Sixers. So it wouldn't make sense for him to go to Miami over Philly, other than the fact that he just wants to be in Miami in January and not in Philly, which I understand. Which brings me to Golden State. I think Golden State is the better opportunity for him because you have a story, which is nice, with him and Steph and Draymond. Draymond hasn't signed back yet. He hasn't signed with any team. So he's clearly doing that for a reason. So they can figure out that money, he'll either take the minimum and give LeBron the mid-level exception or vice versa, but they have to figure out the money. So he can't sign yet. And obviously he wants to go back. He's not going to go anywhere else or else he'd be somewhere else by now. So I think they're doing this. The other reason, I actually forgot to make this point about the Sixers. Not that I want to keep it on the Sixers. Think about what's happening right now with LeBron James. Just make the fucking decision, my guy. You got Rich Paul doing interviews, Bob Myers, the de facto Sixers GM, on there making sales pitches on your podcast. All this feels this circus is exactly why I don't want LeBron James on the Sixers. This entire fucking presentation is nonsense. Just pick a team. Just pick one. You literally have your pick of the league. What do you mean you're not going to listen to pitches from teams? You're going to let Rich Paul do it, and then he's going to report back to you, and then you'll pick it. How can you decide that? How can you assess who you want to put? Rich Paul isn't playing the games. You are. What kind of bullshit is that? To me, he already knows where he's going. Why would you even openly admit that? That doesn't make sense. This is all a big promotion for Rich Paul's stupid little podcast with Max Kellerman. And this circus is, again, everything is about LeBron, which is another reason why I don't want them on Sixers. We have VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey to develop. We don't have time for this bullshit. We don't. We literally don't. We have to figure out how we're going to de-brainwash Jaylen Brown from hating the Sixers as the Celtics all these years. I'm not adding LeBron to that. Sorry. We have our star players. Without LeBron, our roster is nice. I'd much rather get a player that's going to play. LeBron ain't playing much games either these days. We already got to worry about Embiid missing half the games. I'm not trying to get LeBron in the mix too with his fucking load management. On top of him being a circus, his style of play, people will credit him for being a chameleon and can make it. No, he makes bad players really good. It don't work here. They tried it in Cleveland already. Remember they had Derrick Rose and they had Dwayne Wade. They had all these great players. That lasted about 2 months before they started trading them all away. It just doesn't work. He couldn't even play well with Luka Doncic. You couldn't make it work with Luka. You expect it's going to work with players that are worse than Luka? Get the fuck out of here. I don't know. It's just a bad. I don't want to take the ball out of Tyrese's hands, and I don't want to mess up integrating Jaylen Brown, which is already going to be an adjustment. I don't want to also have to adjust because I've seen LeBron take over teams before. His mom can't sit at courtside she couldn't in Miami. It's a fucking thing. He can't bring his entire posse. He wants to be the coach. He wants to be the GM. He wants to hand out max contracts to bench players. He's done all that already. He's done that everywhere he's been. Why the fuck would you want him here to do it here? So, sorry. I wanted to get all that out.
Yeah,
The most
no,
intriguing.
you needed
I'm
to.
sorry.
You needed to. I don't think.
I
I
do.
mean, I at this point, I expect nothing less in terms of just
Yeah.
dragging this out in a fucking announcement. I mean, we've seen him do this time and time again, but
Yeah.
I partially agree with you. Right? I think it is a
Yeah.
distraction to everything that you just said. However,
Mhm.
I see it happening. I know you hate me saying that, but I'll tell you, if it's not Philadelphia, it's probably Golden State
Yeah.
easily. Or, I mean, again, there's that chance, and I understand he's already won in Cleveland, but maybe he's just looking to coast out and close his career. Like
Yeah.
that's it. So for me, it's either you go to a team, chase a championship in a spot you haven't done it before. You go back to Cleveland, which I mean, honestly, you could still help them to a deep playoff run and/or championship, and you close it out there, or you just say, "Hey, listen, I'm closing the book at the same spot I opened it, and this is it for me. Thanks NBA, thanks Cleveland, Miami, LA. Like appreciate it, and that's it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm honestly, I'm hoping it, like." I'm hoping we don't have to talk about this shit next week. Let's get a decision this weekend, please. Come on.
Yeah. I get it, man. So it's most likely Cleveland because you ended on a good note. The other reason why Cleveland's probably intriguing is because of all the other places, there's no expectation of winning there. He's already
Yeah.
delivered. So even if they don't, like, there's going to be immense pressure anywhere he goes. Philly, obviously. Miami, maybe not as much as a team like Philly or Minnesota. Like if he went to a team that never won before, but like going to a team he's already won with, there's less pressure, especially in Cleveland. But Golden State is interesting. You have high IQ guys like Steph and Draymond and Steve Kerr there. LeBron will help. LeBron being there will help Steph. I think those two, their styles and their positions are different enough where it'll work. I think it'll just help everybody. So it'll be a great movie. I don't think stylistically, or not stylistically, I don't think I would like to see. I think some rivals should stay rivals. It would look weird for Steph and LeBron to team up on a team outside of Team USA. You can't have Harden and LeBron on the same team in 2026 expect to get a chip. Yeah, and that's the other. Hey, I'm glad you brought up James Harden. That's the other part about him going to Cleveland. If James Harden's on your team, you have no shot. I mean, the guy, that's a second round exit waiting to happen. I don't care who is on that team with James Harden. You will lose because that dude will disappear in the playoffs because he always does. So, yeah, shout out to them. But yeah, it looks like Cleveland. I don't care who he goes. Just stay away from the Sixers. I'm tired of seeing these Sixers people beg for LeBron James. Like, enough, y'all. Like, get off of it. LeBron is not coming to. And that's the other. I can't see LeBron randomly ending his career in Philadelphia. Like that just doesn't. I don't. It just doesn't.
I mean,
right
there
to
must
me.
be some sense to it if he's listed these top teams and he can see himself doing it. I understand it doesn't make sense, but like, I mean, maybe he just wants to live in Philly. Maybe it's just Philadelphia that's attracting him.
I find that hard to believe. Who wants to live in Philly? All right, Bert. Speaking of Philly, since we're on there.
Speaking of Philly,
NFL football season, 9 short weeks away. So we're going to start our NFL preview. We'll start with the NFC East because you are a Giants fan. So let's start with the New York Giants. John Harbaugh coming to New York, absolute sledgehammer. He's a huge upgrade to what you guys had before. Instantly fixes that soft culture that has been reportedly brewing around the New York football Giant locker room in this franchise. I don't have any specific questions because you guys were like 4-13. It's hard to figure out like I'm not going to put any crazy expectations on you guys, but as a Giants fan, what do you expect of the New York football Giants in year one of John Harbaugh?
I expect close to a 500 record, if not, 8-9, 9-8, to be honest with you. To me, they're the biggest sleeper in the division in itself. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to win the division because I am a realist. But if you look at the facts, John Harbaugh came in, immediately changing the culture, working well with our GM and our system to help complement Jaxon Dart too. Other additions, look, Tremaine Edmonds, Isaiah Likely, Darnell Mooney too. So like making moves, drafting the likes of Arvell Reese. So Like, look, they're making all the right moves to be a competitive team. Also, an understanding, like, they traded away Dexter Lawrence. It's going to be tough to fill that, but to the same point, like, it's something they needed to do. But offensive strengths all around, a young quarterback, an eager quarterback, and now they've surrounded him with legitimate weapons too, right? You have Nabers, you have Likely, you have Mooney, Malachi Fields too, right? And then of course you get him protection. So drafting Francis Mauigoa, which, I mean, we heard him post-draft basically saying he's going to die for Jaxon Dart if he has to. So the dude's going off. Weaknesses, as much as I want to say it's a strength, it's Jaxon Dart. From both a health standpoint, but also ensuring that he's developing, right? He's still a little bit experienced, now a new coaching staff. I'm trying to see how this is going to play out. In all honesty, he's got to stay healthy. He's got to stop. He's got to get rid of the ball. Stop running without, like, protect yourself, protect your health, and going from there. So defense added a bit of athleticism too. Didn't completely sacrifice their pass rush and their moves as well. So I honestly think they're poised for a consistent season of being 500 is what it comes down. The biggest issue, I think, defensively is just trying to stop a run defense. That's, like, obviously the biggest concerns, but they feel like offensively they got the protection around Dart. They've got weapons. And I think they could be competitive should Dart stay healthy is what it comes down to. And I think they can give the division hell for sure.
That's a fair assessment. I think hovering around 500 and playing tough, highly disciplined and tough football and trying to finish around 500 is a realistic goal. Because, you know, unless trading Dexter Lawrence doesn't help, but you did make subsequent moves to kind of fix that. Brian Burns played really well. Like, you still have a game record with you in New York. So I'm expecting big things from him. John Harbaugh gives that team instant credibility it hasn't had in a long probably since Coughlin was there. Like, in reality, like it's those types of vibes. Giants being one of the most penalized teams is going to be one of the least penalized teams, because John Harbaugh teams historically have been one of the least penalized teams in the league since he's been a coach. But he's bringing in 170 something career wins. Like, that's got to mean something to those guys. Like, these aren't first time head coaches, former coordinators trying to prove that they can do it. This is a guy that knows he can do it. That right there is a benefit to young players. The confidence of Jaxon Dart. You have Malik Nabers coming back. You have Scatterboo coming back. You're bringing OBJ back to kind of be that legendary, player kind of coach to kind of help Nabers along, but also be another weapon on top of everything else you have. Giving Jaxon Dart everything he could possibly need. So like as long as they can protect him, can you live with some of the YOLO balls that Jaxon Dart was? But that's kind of what made him a household name. It's like the gift and the curse. It does remind me. I hate making comparisons like this because people think that's who I'm calling him, but it does remind me of early Josh Allen, where he felt like he could make a play every play. That was like early on specifically, and he still kind of does it.
He does that shit all the time, man. What are you talking about?
Know,
like, he always, I don't want to look to that day game against Denver, he's trying to force it. Yeah.
But I want a guy that thinks he can make the play than a guy who's just like standing there and getting hit all the time. But now that he's got an NFL season under his belt, he didn't have proper coaching, which he's going to have. It should work out this year for Jaxon Dart. To me, he clearly showed you he has the tools to do it. So you got to give him a chance to develop. You have to give the coach a chance to develop him. And if you can figure out the quarterback, things can only go up for the team. So I think that's a pretty good barometer for them. Moving. Oh, go ahead. You got something else?
No. I was going to reiterate kind of what you just said about Jaxon Dart. Look, you can make those moves when, you're, in, I don't know, week 12 and you have 2 wins in your belt. Like, you can make those moves, you can make those risks, but like under under Harbaugh and being a more competitive team, something tells me we're going to still see the edge, but I don't want to say conservative. That's not the right word, but smarter playmaking, I think, is what we'll see this year.
Moving on to Philadelphia, Bert.
Yeah.
Eagles traded away A.J. Brown.
Sure did.
A terrible gamble that could really backfire for the Eagles in this offense. So, I mean, I think so, but
I think that is the only the offense is going to have this year, right? Is just replacing his ability to dominate man coverage. That's it.
Yeah.
But what
is surviving? Sure. Right. But what does surviving post AJ Brown era mean or look like to you for Philadelphia?
I mean, DeVonta Smith now moving to the number 1. You still have Saquon in the backfield, and Jalen Hurts, as much as you love to dog this man, is still a dual threat quarterback. He's mobile and he can throw the ball. I honestly, it pains me to say this, and I throw up a little bit every time I do, but I do think they are the most sound offense in the division. I think they are truly the most complete offense in the division, where they're going to produce. And we can go back and forth on this the whole time, but I'll be honest with you. I still think without AJ Brown, they are probably one of it's them and the Cowboys as being the most consistent, plain and simple. But I think, look, aside from having that guy who was AJ Brown was just that dude. You had him man to man, whoever is defending him is getting burned. And we'll see if anybody's able to kind of rise up and take that place. But, overall, I still think they have a sound offense and have major threats.
Yeah, DeVonta Smith's an interesting one because, we all love his route running. We love the way he plays, but life changes a lot when you're now the focal point of the defensive coordinator's game plan. When you're the focal point of, okay, where's number 6 at? Life was easy when A.J. Brown was there because he was the panic button. He was the safety blanket for Jalen Hurts. The best receivers usually do it. So he won't be facing single coverage or secondary cornerbacks anymore. You're going to get every team's best guy. So can he beat the bracket coverage? Can, the safety help over the top? Can he do all that? On crucial third downs, can he be the guy to go up and get it? He has talent. Nobody's saying he's not good, but going from the second guy to the one guy it's a bigger leap than a lot of people care to admit. And we've seen that before. TJ Houshmandzadeh is a prime example of that. Like when Chad Johnson left, we're good. We don't need to replace him. We got TJ. TJ was excellent when Chad Johnson was here, and all of a sudden, Cincinnati, Carson Palmer's like, I am out of here, y'all. Like, this sucks. So I don't know. You just gotta be careful. You have to be careful when you move away from number 1 wide receivers. Like, I don't like addition by subtraction. Like, that only works with head cases. AJ Brown wasn't a head case. You can disagree with how he chose to go about it, but he still showed up and played. He still played well. And it wasn't like he was being his teammates, if anything, supported him. And so his issue was just the main issue, honestly, was it put too much of a negative spotlight on Jalen Hurts and in terms of exposing Jalen. Because then that's what, even after AJ left, all you heard was reports of how Jalen Hurts kept changing plays and kept doing this and kept doing that.
Yeah.
And you didn't really hear, again, you heard a lot of support for AJ Brown in terms of maybe not, hey, AJ's right, but people were given similar criticisms of what AJ Brown was saying without basically calling out Jalen Hurts or anybody. But nobody was really doing that for Jalen Hurts. Nobody really was like, AJ Brown's bugging. I don't feel the way he does. No, people felt the way he did. It's just, when you got the franchise quarterback and you got this guy and you're Super Bowl MVP, it's just, you can't really be like, yo, fuck Jalen Hurts. So I get that. I do understand. I do understand it was a tricky terrain to navigate for a lot of the Eagles players, specifically AJ Brown. But, Howie Roseman does what he does. He got Wicks. He got Hollywood Brown. They drafted Mekhi Lemon, who they're banking on.
I was going to say they're expecting him to start immediately and contribute immediately too, that's a lot of pressure, but I can also see it happening.
But it brings it. I know people think I'm dogging Jalen Hurts. but you have your new offensive coordinator whose primary thing is scheming guys open across the middle. And we've seen Jalen Hurts not be able to throw across the middle. So I don't care how good your offensive coordinator is. If your quarterback can't make all the throws, it's not going to look good. So it'll be interesting to see, they're going to have to get Saquon back involved. Like go back to the Super Bowl season where Saquon was like, because again, the statistics bear out, regardless of how you feel about Jalen Hurts and how you feel he's disrespected, the Eagles play and win better and win more when your quarterback plays less quarterback.
Yeah.
Period. That's not a criticism. That's not an opinion either. Like that's what the data says. And so, you can claim he's an elite quarterback and he's a game manager. And so he needs to get to that and do what the game plan suggests. Stop changing plays because something went wrong in Philly and everybody knew it and everybody felt it. And so it'll be interesting to see, because now, again, just like pressure is on DeVonta Smith to perform, you've now gotten rid of the offensive coordinator, which everybody blamed. And now you've gotten rid of your loudmouth wide receiver, which is another person you blamed. So, all right, Jalen, we got rid of all the things that made you uncomfortable. Let's see what you do now. You better return to form. And if the PFF just released their top quarterbacks power rankings, Jalen Hurts wasn't in the top 10. You Eagles fans assured me, guaranteed me that he would be ahead of Josh Allen. He didn't even crack the top 10. Where's Josh Allen? Let me check. Hold on. Let me check my notes. Josh Allen. Oh, number 1. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. Oh, PFF is for nerds. Well, the broadcasts use PFF stats all the time, so they're doing something. This isn't Bert Jerm's power rankings. These are like real guys doing the real work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is, but with the data behind it, right. Yeah.
They are professionals. They're not like gym class Jerry's on Twitter, fucking just ranking quarterbacks. But hey, have a blast. Have a blast, you Eagles fans. Moving on to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
It's so Dallas. I mean, what Brian Schottenheimer coming in, fixing the defense. He wants to play a more physical defensive team, which is great because I don't think the questions are about Dak Prescott or Ceedee Lamb or George Pickens. I think the Dallas offense has been fine. Actually good. I think they've been good. If healthy.
That is the biggest, the biggest thing. Yeah. I mean, if Dak is going to remain healthy, he is a top tier pocket quarterback and he's got an arm too. And look, you have Ceedee, who's one of the NFL's best receivers. And then you have the vertical with George Pickens. So like, what more can you ask for? I know, a running back. That's it. That's their missing piece offensively. But to your point, defensively, sound pretty good.
Yeah. They need to be. I mean, he did everything he could because that was their problem last year. They just, you trade Micah Parsons, it doesn't go well. But all your, again, subsequent moves between the draft, free agency, and things like that. Brian installing his tough, like their physical defense, like beat him up, old school, just like his dad, Marty, beat him up defense. He's going to do everything he can to make it work. So he's directly involved in the defense. He's not sitting back. So much like Sean McDermott did, and Sean McDermott led the Bills, even though they didn't do well in the playoffs, numbers wise, statistically, always one of the top end defenses in the NFL. So it seems like Schottenheimer is going to do a little bit of that. Again, offense isn't the problem. It's that just bottom of the barrel defense. So, the new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker, has his work cut out for him. So just be top 15, man. Again, nobody's trying to get you to be a top 5 defense. Like, if you can be a top half defense and a top 10 offense, you will have a pretty good shot at competing. So I think a realistic expectation for the Cowboys is to just be better than 7-9-1. No more ties. Like, enough of that shit. Like, what are you talking? You tied a game like that? I mean, you can't. They definitely did what most good run teams do. They said, we don't have to really worry about our offense. Like, they got the only question mark they had on their offense was the George Pickens contract, and they quickly franchise tagged him because they're like, yo, dog, we got other shit to do. Like we have to,
Mhm.
like, I get that you want a contract and maybe we'll figure it out next year. We have to fix our defense if we're going to actually win anything. So
Mhm.
they quickly, like that. I feel like that was one of the first big moves this offseason was the Cowboys franchise tagging him. So, they got Quinnen Williams now, Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark. Like their defensive line should generate pressure. So they should figure out a way to get to the quarterback, make life a little bit easier for Dak Prescott. They need to work on, I think they drafted a blindside tackle, but that's not really a good sign if you have a quarterback that has some injury history, especially with his legs. Blindside tackle is
Yeah.
one of the premium positions for me, my 4 positions you play, blindside tackle is one of them. So I wish they would have done a little bit better job figuring that piece out. But yeah, the Cowboys, I think if they can get that defense right, they'll be okay because they do have the talent offensively, and they should be a lot better than they were. You talked about the running back situation. They re-signed Javonte Williams. I did like what I saw from him last year. They're not. I feel like he needed more opportunities, but then again, like to your point, injuries. He got hurt, so like that was
Yeah.
like a whole thing. So you get these guys got to stay healthy, man. Like obviously that's number one, but offensively, I think the Cowboys are fine with health, and then we'll see if all the moves on defense, fixed everything they got going. Last but not
Yeah.
least, oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. We
Yeah.
can transition. I was just going to reiterate. I think Tyler Smith signing long term there. I think can really help. It can fill
Yeah.
in blindside when needed. But honestly, he's one of the best anchors out there for an O line. So I think they're making all the right moves. But
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's talk about the Commanders.
So I'm liking what Dan Quinn did. Much like the Cowboys, he had enough of this shit and really just went after that defense. Like he said, y'all,
Mhm.
I think last year Jayden Daniels coming back from that terrible injury that he had late in the season,
Yeah.
the season before, never quite got right, and it doesn't help when your defense can't stay on the field. They can't, they're not slowing anybody down, so your offense is just a revolving door. Dan Quinn had enough of that, decided to make some moves on the defensive side of the ball and just keep things going there. Bert, the win total is set at 8, so over and under 8.5 wins
Yeah.
for the new look Commanders.
I'm gonna go either exact or I'll go under.
Okay.
Not by much. I think
Yeah.
7, 8, 9 is where
Yeah.
I'm seeing it. So 500 or just slightly below. I think for me, the Commanders have the biggest swing or variance rather in the division in itself, right? And it is solely based on Jayden Daniels' health.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And they've made some major offseason moves too, right? They still have Terry, who's I think one of the most underrated receivers out there. And look, when everything is working how it should, they win. But if anything is slightly off, you can forget about it too. I think it'd be a new addition of David Blau too, as an OC. Could really help. But yeah, I think it's one of the more we started out talking about the Giants and being a 500 team, but I see them in more sound, obviously by way of coaching and just how they're built this year too. I think for me, there's just too much variables up in the air for Washington to either walk that 500 line or be right below it too.
Yeah, they were 5-12 last year, and they lost 10 of their last 12 games after they started decent, but again, terrible injury luck. Like, without those injuries, are you suddenly a 9-win football team? Because people, I don't know, but again, they hired Durante Jones to fix the defense. They were 30th in yards per play last year. Like you're not going to win games. So replacing both offensive and defensive coordinators, specifically on the offensive side, now Jayden Daniels has to learn, like you said with David Blau, you have to learn the new offense. But if we can get anything like we got of rookie Jayden Daniels, if you believe, like, again, the hard part is already done for you. The quarterback is there. So if Jayden Daniels can stay healthy, do they go out and add a Stephon Diggs to help that receiving core? Do they bring him home to Maryland? That would obviously help because he did really well for New England, and apparently all of his legal stuff is over with. So, that's cool. Yeah, like, if that's over with, then we can go ahead and move on from all that stuff and go play football. But I'm with you. I think there's too much to overcome. And so I would go under 8.5. 7 or 8 is fine, I think. But to come up with like a 4-game swing after what you did last year is tough. It's tough. It's a tough thing. Now they have a last place schedule, so maybe they'll get lucky and because they're obviously play a last place schedule, maybe they can kind of catch fire like the Patriots did this past year. And kind of feast on a weak schedule and catch people off guard and by surprise and win a bunch of games. But I got to see what that defense does first. And like you said, I have to see what Jayden Daniels' health looks like. I need to see all that stuff. And then maybe we'll talk turkey. So final question, Bert, fair or foul when it comes to the NFC East? Will we see now the Eagles are back-to-back NFC East champions? Historically, that's been a running joke that the NFC East never has back-to-back. It's been a long time. I believe your New York Football Giants were the last team to do it. So, do you think we will see this year a repeat NFC East champion, fair or foul?
I think foul. I do. And if not the Eagles, like honestly, the only other option based on our conversation today would probably be the Cowboys. But again, I think the Giants are such a huge sleeper. Again, I'm realist here. Think they're going 500. But if things look complete upside for them, I think they could be in contention as well. I also think that out of all of these teams, the Eagles have the highest chance of a meltdown. I think just based on what we saw last year too. And I know some of those problems are out, but still, I mean, like you said it best, all eyes on the quarterback. And it's truly going to say, like, was he the one that was the issue, or was it the individuals they got rid of? But no, I think foul. I think we're going to see a new team up there.
Losing a guy like AJ Brown completely changes how defenses play you. And I think the Eagles are going to learn that the hard way. And Jalen Hurts needs to be able to beat. I don't think he can rely on like isolation talent to bail him out. I don't think he can rely on AJ Brown basically taking away the best guy and Jalen Hurts finding the open guy because too much attention's on AJ Brown. He clearly couldn't do that because he couldn't do that against the 49ers, and he couldn't do that late in the season where they were asking him to throw the ball more and the offense just wasn't the same. And sleep on the Giants at your own risk. Like I think John Harbaugh being there is being severely underrated in NFL circles. I'm not saying that the Giants are going to be like some crazy. I'm not expecting them to be like the Ravens in year one, like just perennial, in the mix every time. But that they're going to be better than people think they are. And then the Cowboys, making it to the Super Bowl and winning the division are two separate things.
Very much so. Yeah.
Like, I know I have a running joke on this show that it doesn't matter if the Cowboys go undefeated. When they get to the playoffs, they're going to lose. That has nothing to do with them winning their division. The Cowboys, if they can fix that defense to be a top 12-ish unit, they can 100%, because they are a better offensive team than the Eagles. They can 100% win this division. And I expect them to win this division. I'm calling it now. I have the Cowboys winning this division because I think the Eagles I think the Eagles will struggle out the gate, and then it's going to fall apart very quickly. Like they'll catch on, they'll think they've figured it out, and then it's going to fall apart. And it's going to happen in a quick 5-6 game stretch. Like, and then it's going to be over. And so that's my prediction for the Eagles. But yeah, I think the Cowboys have it figured out. And then the Giants are going to be right there on the Eagles' ass. I think people are underestimating the return of Malik Nabers, who is a top 3 receiver in that division. Right behind Ceedee Lamb. and George Pickens. I would take him over Terry McLaurin. I love Terry McLaurin, but I think he's a more talented receiver than Terry McLaurin based on everything I've seen. So if he's not 3, he's definitely, top 5 somewhere in that division. But yeah, I'm also going to say foul. I think the math for Dallas is a little bit simpler. You just figure out that defense and they're going to be fine. Like, they have the best quarterback to receiver in the division now. And I just don't like, historically, the NFC East just doesn't allow teams to be too comfortable. Like, it just doesn't, the Eagles lucked out with a lot of injuries to Washington and Dallas and New York, really, frankly, the last couple years. So again, if we can get these guys healthy, then I think the Eagles are going to have some trouble. And just the amount of change, new offensive coordinator, losing AJ Brown, there's a lot to overcome for the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's even if I like them as a team, I would be hesitant to pick them again. I just don't see it happening this year for them. So will they be back? Sure. Like, I'm sure they have a lot of talent. I like Nick Sirianni. I think he's a great coach. Howie Roseman, I think, is the best GM in football. So I think the Eagles will be competitive. They will figure it out. If it's not this year, definitely next year. So that's how I feel about that. So, all right, Bert, do you have a game ball you want to give out?
Yeah, man. You're not wearing that hat for fashion. So my game ball is going to you, you son of a bitch. You beautiful, beautiful man, you, on your birthday. Thank you for doing a show on your birthday, number 1. Number 2, happy birthday to you. And the game ball goes to you, not just because it's your birthday, because you hold this fort down week in, week out. So, I got to give you your flowers, show you some love, but most of all, especially on your born day. So happy birthday, man. I love you, and game ball goes to you.
I love you too, man. I appreciate you saying that. This show has been the therapy I need. I love doing it. I don't do this show without you. I have done the show without you because you're out traveling, doing real work, not goofing off with me, talking sports and letting me shit on Jalen Hurts. But I can't do this show without you. And so I appreciate you doing this with me all these years and hope you continue to do it with me. And so we both get tired of doing it. But it's been a wild ride. I enjoy doing this thing. I love it. I love the damn interaction we had with people today. Like, it's literally awesome. What it is. It's just a great feeling. It's nice to be recognized. This whole thing, this thing. I don't know. Just threw this little diddly on. I don't know.
Just my sleeping cap. It's
just
fine,
my sleeping cap. Yeah. My dunce cap, if anything, just some of this stuff. My game ball. Hey, listen, Jaylen Brown. I'm sorry, man. I talked a lot of shit, but hey, you know what? Hey, you're one of us now. So, water under the bridge, we'll call it. All right. And just don't look back at our posts like about three weeks ago.
No,
don't look at that.
Don't look at Jerm's old tweets either. No, don't do that.
Matter of fact, I got some deleting to do. I'll talk to you guys next week.